Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make your very own Giant Pepsi Can house. That's right, you can actually choose to live inside of this thing if you like, and believe me, there is way more space than I'm showing here. I actually had to limit it severely. This thing is huge. Here are all of the materials that you will need to make your Pepsi can. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to make the shape of the can. We're actually going to start from the bottom and work our way up to the top. The way that we're going to do this is we are going to begin by placing 7 blue concrete in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to place an upright diagonal, go right by 1, 2 upright diagonals, 1, 2, go up by 1, place an upright diagonal, up by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're then going to place an up left diagonal, up by 1, 2 up left diagonals, 1, 2, go left by 1, place an up left diagonal, go left by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then place a bottom left diagonal, left by 1, 2 bottom left diagonals, 1, 2, go down by 1, place a bottom left diagonal, and go down by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place a bottom right diagonal, go down by 1, 2 bottom right diagonals, that'll be 1 and 2, and go right by 1, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the shape of the can pretty much. The next thing that we're going to do is take out our light grey concrete, and essentially what we must do is place a layer of light grey concrete that is outward from the layer of blue. However, it goes all the way around inside of it, so the effect that we're looking for, and all of the light grey concrete, by the way, wants to join together in the corners. So unlike what we've just made, it wants to join together in the corners. The reason that it doesn't join together in the corners when it comes to the shape of the can, the blue concrete part, is because we are trying to maintain a specific shape. So it doesn't matter as much when it comes to the bottom of the can, it actually looks a little bit better in doing this, and this is the effect that we're looking for. But not only do we want to do that once, we actually want to do that one more time. Once again, using the light grey concrete, we want to take the previous shape, which is, again, light grey concrete, and we want to place 1 row outwards, 1 row all the way around the inside. We want to place a circle of light grey concrete, just going all the way around the inside of the can. This is the base of the can, and it is also going to be filled in. So once we have placed this shape right here, that's perfect. So that is what we want to have. But then we're going to fill the first layer of light grey in, the circle shape that we made using light grey. We're going to fill the first layer in completely using light grey concrete. If you guys have ever looked at the base of a can, I'm sure that you have. It is the circular shape that kind of pops out, and then it is a little bit concave. So as you look in it, it kind of goes in a little bit basically, and that is the effect that we are trying to mimic here. So all in all, we should have something which should look like that, which I think is pretty good. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to do all of the detail on the side of the can. So we're going to actually write out our Pepsi, and I just have to adjust my plans here so that we can get this right. So come to the front of your can, whichever side you want to be the front. This side is my front. We are going to take the very bottom of the long row of blue concrete on this side of the can, and we are going to extend this concrete to the right by 3. 1, 2, 3. We're then going to place 5 white concrete on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go right by 2. 1, 2. Down by 2. 1, 2. Left by 1. That is P. From the top of the P, I want you to place a blue concrete going right, and then 3 white concrete right of that. 1, 2, 3. Go down 2, 1, 2, left 2, down 2, right 2, and then join the top left-hand corner together, top to bottom. Right of this, which is the E, we want to place another P, so we're going to place a blue concrete, 3 white concrete going right, 1, 2, 3, down 2, 1 and 2, left 2, down 2, and then we're just going to join back up to the top, so PEP. Next, we're going to place a blue concrete right to the top of the P, and we're going to place a white concrete going right. Go down by 2, 1, 2, right 2, down 2, left 2, and then take the top of the white concrete and extend it right by 2. I want you to place a blue concrete right at the top of the S, white concrete right of that, a blue underneath, 3 white underneath that, and there you have, simply wrote, Pepsi. Now, we want to have 3 rows separation between the I and the Pepsi logo. That's going to be 3, 1, 2, 3, solid rows of blue concrete. You can add these rows in right now if you like, as we will have to have them later anyways. Next, I want you to place an entire row of white concrete going right of this. We're going to take the top row of white concrete and we're going to place 2 upright diagonals. 1, 2. We're then going to go right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're then going to place 2 bottom right diagonals. 1, 2, and then down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bottom left diagonals. 1, 2. Left by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up left diagonal. Boom. There we have it. Nice circular shape. What we then want to do is come down to the bottom left hand corner of the circle. That's right, this circle has a corner, and we want to place a white concrete on top of the corner. Right 2, up 1, right 2, place white concrete on top of the last 2 blocks, go right 1, then place white concrete on top of the last 2 blocks, right 1, up, left, up. So there you have it's not quite a half and half shape with the Pepsi logo, there's a little bit more on the top than the bottom, and we're going to place blue concrete in the bottom of this. You could even alternate by perhaps using some cyan concrete, although I'm not, and we can place some red concrete in the top part. So, all in all, we want to have something which should look like this. And now that we have done that, ladies and gentlemen, what we basically must do is we must take the entire shape of the can and we must extend it all the way over here. The shape of the can actually wants to end where our logo just ended, so I don't quite know what the easiest way to do this would be. But the way that I'm going to do this is, and by the way, I'm just extending the bottom to show you. So the bottom of the can must come all the way over here. You only really have to do the left and right sides of the can, to be honest, at the bottom, because the floor will actually cover up the rest of the space. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the bottom across like this, right? And then I'm going to copy the shape that we made over there, so the outer part of the can. And then I'm just going to go left and right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to go left and right, and I'm going to fill in the space in between. It really doesn't matter how you do this though. You can just methodically, and let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can just methodically extend from that side all the way over to this side until, as I said, the can is as far over as the end of the logo, and the logo actually protrudes out a little bit from the shape of the can, so it actually ends up looking a little bit like this. It actually sticks out a little bit more than it should, but I kind of liked the way that it looked like that, so as you can see, hang on, there we go. So as you can see, the logo at the top and the bottom a little bit, it kind of like sticks out a little bit more, but I quite like that effect anyway. It highlights the logo. So you can see that we want the shape of the can on both sides here, so what happened here? There we go. So all we have to now do is just left and right join these rows together. I find it easiest to do it this way. It hopefully shouldn't take too long. It probably is the most lengthy part of this tutorial, is just connecting front and back, but absolutely well worth it when it's done. If you want to write Pepsi on both sides of the can, absolutely feel free. I just like it being on one side of the can because I quite like having like a definitive front of the can, but you could quite easily just copy Pepsi onto this side. Obviously you wouldn't like literally copy it, like mirror it. You would have to spin it around on this side to actually make it legible, unless you're very adept at reading backwards, which I'm not. What's Pepsi backwards? It's Pep, I guess. It's Pep. So it's up to you. If you want to make the logo itself kind of form to the shape of the can a little bit, that's also that might also be an option. But like I said, I quite like the logo kind of like popping out a bit. I might even try it the other way. I'd never tried it the other way in the original version of this, but it might look okay. But as I said, I quite like how it kind of sticks out a lot. I think it's actually like just a really nice clean design, very, very easy. I think it's very recognizable as well how it is, so I don't really want to have it like sink into the can. It's only 2 rows of it that would be anyway. It'd be the top horizontal row and the bottom horizontal row. You would just dig out the row, like you just dig out those rows and then set them 1 row behind, and then it would adhere to the actual shape of the can a little bit more, but I don't think that I'm going to do that. We're just about halfway here, which is pretty cool, and this is going to make up all of the living space should you decide that you want to live inside the Pepsi can, which is your right. If you want to live inside of a giant Pepsi can, then you are more than welcome to. And I'm sure that you might have seen it at the start of the video, that if you wanted to, I mean, obviously, I think that you might have had the idea, even if I didn't tell you. If this was just a statue tutorial, if this was just me showing you how to make a Pepsi can, then I'm sure you'd be like, I could live inside of that Pepsi can. That Pepsi can's pretty big. It is actually kind of huge. It's actually a lot bigger than some houses that I've been making on my main channel recently. So you could absolutely make just a giant house inside this. You could make a really cool house. I'm going to leave the details up to you, but I will just show you once again when we hit the end of this tutorial. Just the little tiny house that I made inside. I didn't even utilize all of the space because I was like, I don't want to design an entire interior for the can. There's too much space. It's huge. I don't even know what to put in here. So I'll leave that part up to you. But it's very, very easy just to literally walk inside of the lid of the can and have your base be there. So this little part's a bit annoying where you've got to fill in all of the space in between all of the letters, but then if you just come behind everything that you've just made kind of like this, then it gets a little bit easier just to connect things left and right, since we're getting to the bottom of the can here. And I think I might try out the logo thing, like I said, since I harped on about it quite a bit. We'll see how it looks, but I have a feeling that I'd rather have it pop out a bit. But we have now successfully made what I would call, I guess, the body of the can. And there we go. We can do it. Perfect. That's looking good. So what I was talking about the entire time is we can take the top row of the logo, and we can just dig 1 row behind, and we can have it extend inside like that. And I just don't quite like how that looks in comparison. Let's try the bottom as well. They're the only rows that don't really adhere to the shape. And now the logo kind of like, it just doesn't look the same to me, because so much of the logo is flat instead of shaped. I just like it a little bit better like that. So now that we have done that, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to be doing? This is very, very simple actually. Using the blue concrete, we are going to place a layer of blue concrete inside the top part of the can that sits 1 row inside and also goes all the way around the outside. So, if that makes sense, it's exactly what we did using the light grey concrete on the opposite side of the can. We're actually doing it the same amount of times that we use the light grey concrete. So in total, we are going to want to place 2 layers of blue concrete that go all the way around the inside of the can, but also it sticks out from the side of the can. So you get this nice layered textured effect like this. Perfect. It all wants to join together in the corners as well, by the way. It's not... We're looking for this shape specifically that we create by joining the corners together. You do actually get a very distinct shape whether you choose to join the corners or whether you choose not to. Like, each one of those options gives you a completely different shape as you start adding layers, and this is the shape that we're trying to get. So we're placing the 2 layers of blue, which will eventually give us this. And what we're now going to do is use light grey concrete, and we're actually going to bring it out again. So we're going to place light grey concrete going all the way around the outside of the circular shape that we just made. And we're just bringing it back out. And it's pretty much the exact same thing, just in reverse, I suppose. If you guys have ever looked at the top of a can, I'm sure you have. I'm sure that you've studied it quite a bit. It comes in a little bit at the top of the can, and then it just comes out again, and then you've kind of got like that metallic rim at the top of the can, and yeah, it just starts to come out a little bit. So that's pretty much what we're doing here. We're gonna add another layer of light grey concrete that just pops out from that first initial row, because it's quite deep, the rim of the can, I guess, so that it makes it a little bit harder to spill, I assume. I don't know, I don't design these things, and I design the fake versions but not the real versions, and that is what we want to have. What else are we missing? Well, what we're now going to do, because it'll be a bit easier, is we're going to fill the first layer of light grey concrete in using, well, light grey concrete. We're completely going to fill the face of it in. What all then that we will be lacking is the ring pull, and then the hole that the ring pull creates, which is of course where the Pepsi comes out of. And we're also going to be placing a little bit of like spilt Pepsi on the ground in front of this as well. So we just want to have something which should look like this. And then right down at the bottom here, so I want you to come down to the bottom, find the middle block at the bottom. This is the actual like filled in part. Move up 1, destroy that block, left and right, destroy 3 rows above, that's 1, 2, and 3, and then take the 2 middle blocks on the left and right side and dig those out. Perfect. Above this, I want you to place a row of 3 light grey concrete extending outwards. And the left side here, I want you to extend up, left, up by 3, right, up, right 2, down, right, down by 3, left, and I want you to place a little diagonally placed light grey concrete right up at the top there. So that is the ring pull, that is the hole that one would drink out of. I'm going to place a little bit of brown concrete around here, which is going to simulate where the Pepsi is coming out of here. Maybe even a little bit of like brown stained glass and brown stained glass block extending outwards from the bottom here. Maybe even like a couple of brown concretes here, just kind of like floating down to the ground. I want you to create a shape. This is going to be a puddle or a pool of Pepsi that's just kind of spilled onto the ground. It's a bit of a random shape, so you know you don't have to be too crazy here. I want you to place brown concrete kind of concentrated around the outside parts of this. They can be above the ground, they can be built into the ground. You could even go a little bit deeper if you wanted, it's completely up to you. We could even concentrate a little bit of brown concrete perhaps in the middle of this, and then I just want you to add some glass, and that's all you have to do. So add some glass. As a matter of fact, we will probably have to dig out the dirt, won't we? Otherwise it'll look a little bit weird. Yeah, let's dig out the dirt. Although, I mean, it kind of does look like... I guess if you were to use your imagination, it does kind of almost look like foamy Pepsi, because of course it is carbonated, so... And yeah, we'll create that kind of like layered effect here. We'll use a little bit more glass. Yeah, it kind of does just look like the Pepsi's like bubbled on the ground a little bit if you've ever dropped it, which would be very unfortunate, of course, if you've ever dropped it. So we can just leave it like that. That's looking pretty good. We can, wherever it kind of like falls a little bit, we can just add a little bit of glass pane, and I think that that's looking pretty good. All that's left, ladies and gentlemen, is if you want to, all you would have to do is you can turn the inside into a house. But let me show you the original version. We can take a nice little sweep around it, and I can show you a little bit of what you can do with the inside. So this is what your giant Pepsi can house will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. I think that we have all of the details of the can pretty much worked out. We have the logo, we have the writing, we have the base of the can, we have the top, we even have the ring pull, which I think is pretty cool. We even have a little pool of Pepsi at the bottom. And if you want to, you can choose to do this. Absolutely isn't necessary. You can turn the inside of the can into a little bit of a house. You can see I have some survival elements inside of here. You could, of course, make this look way better if you do actually choose to make this into your proper house in a survival world. That'd be pretty awesome. So I'll leave that up to you, but I did just want to show you that you've got plenty of room in here. I've actually limited the amount of space. And that's it. I do hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very much. If you are new around here, please do consider subscribing, clicking that little bell next to the subscription button, and that will ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. If you want to make anything else by me, check out the card system, description below in the top of the comment section for more. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.